Hey, good afternoon, guys. This will be our third and final preview for the three main NASCAR Touring series. This time we're going to do the Truck Series. So up on the board here is every confirmed full-time team for the Truck Series so far as of February 4th, 2026. Um, the Truck Series is pretty odd. Another team could absolutely get announced for tomorrow and on the full season, but as of now, this is kind of what we're looking at. We're going to go through every driver like we did with the O'Reilly Series and the Cup Series and go over what I believe their expectations should be. And then we're going to decide who we think the 10 Truck Series drivers in the chase will be. Starting off with CR7, I do believe Grant Enfinger will be a chase driver in 2026. Extremely consistent, proven race winner. I think the change in format will help him. I think he'll be a title contender, so long as the team can keep building on the momentum they got from last year. Freedom Racing with Spencer Boyd. Spencer Boyd's projected to do most of the races for them this year. Big enough paycheck could change that though. Boyd is the part owner of that team, so you never know. He's been known to put in some really solid runs, but I wouldn't be expecting that much out of them. Another restrictor plate victory might be in the cards, but that's about all you can reasonably expect from a team like that. I don't think they're in any danger of making a chase. Next up, McAnally Helgeman. This is a four-headed monster. It's a three-headed monster. We got Tyler Ankrum in the 18, Daniel Hemrick in the 19, Chris Wright in the 81, and Christian Eckes in the 91. I would expect they're going to be fighting to get three guys in the chase there. Tyler Ankrum, this might be his last year to prove he's more than just a Truck Series guy. He is still quite young. He is very talented. He had his best truck year ever last year. He's going to need to go out there and show out in this championship if he wants to move up to the O'Reilly Series and eventually the Cup Series. Because he is very much in danger of becoming one of those truck-only guys. Next up is Daniel Hemrick, and no one knows that more than Hemrick there. Won his second career Touring Series race last year, and he is probably maxed out on where he's going to be. I could see him bounce between Trucks and O'Reilly Series, but he is where he is. He's a nice, safe, competitive driver, and he is kind of a throwback to the Bodines and the Skinners and the Musgraves of old. He's a guy who can never quite get it done in the top series, but he's dropped back down and he's shown that he can be very competitive and he can win races. The 81, Chris Wright. Chris Wright has a lot to prove. He has to put in a lot of effort to show that he's not just a walking paycheck to that ride. He was involved in a lot of accidents and a lot of caution flags in the Xfinity Series last year. He's going to have the most competitive. He's going to be part of the most competitive teams he's ever been on, at least in the National Touring Series. So it's going to be put up or shut up for Chris Wright. He's absolutely the number 4 driver on that team, and he needs to make sure that the other 3 don't eat him alive. And finally there in the 91 is Christian Eckes, coming back down to the Truck Series after a stint in the Xfinity Series for Colin. Christian Eckes is a championship contender 100%. He almost won it a couple years ago. He was a very strong contender for it. And things went a little differently. He probably would be a champion right now. But stepping back down, he's another guy who, like his teammate Tyler Ankrum, this might be his last chance to make something happen and prove that he has that Cup Series pedigree. Next up is Nice Motorsports. They're only running one full-time truck currently. The 45 and the 42 are currently part-time, being split with a bunch of different drivers. Nice is going to have a 4-4, piloted by Andres Perez de Lara. Like we talked about with LeVar Scott in the O'Reilly series, Andres really kind of benefited from a weak ARCA field in the years he was in ARCA. Won the championship, did not win a race. Last year, I thought he showed out reasonably well in his season with Spire and Nice, that combined season he had. This year he's going to need to step up his game if he wants to show he's anything more than what he is currently. I do believe he is a truck series race winning talent, but he's going to need to put in some effort to show that he has any upside beyond that. Next up, Rackley, the 26 Dawson Sutton. They put in a couple of decent runs last year too. And I think building on that's going to be the main goal. Dawson Sutton's shown to be a good little racer, and Rackley's shown to be a team that's slowly improving. I think Chase Birth for them would be beyond expectation. I think that would be crazy for them to pull off. But they were good enough to show out, get some top fives, and maybe even get a win there if things fall their way. Next up, we got Spire, the 7 and the 77. Their full driver lineups have not been announced yet. It won't be one full-time guy going to the Drivers' Championship. We do know that. The only driver I saw for any number who has been announced from more than one race so far is Connor Mosak. Mosak, he is a brilliant road racer, and he has shown some improvement on the ovals as well. I think him stealing a victory on one of the road races would not be out of the realm of possibility. The Spire trucks are race-winning trucks. He will have every opportunity to bring home a victory or two. Onto the forwards, front row of Lane Riggs and Chandler Smith. Those are two championship contending drivers. Lane Riggs, I hesitate to call him the favorite, but I feel like he might be. And Chandler Smith is not far behind him. The expectation there, and these guys are going to be to win races. Either of those guys could be in line for a promotion if any of the three front row Cup guys falter. Lane Riggs, especially, I could definitely see him being the guy who takes over if Noah Gregson, for instance, has another poor year. Last year it was Corey Heim and Lane Riggs. So the field's wide open this year, but Lane Riggs, I think you have to look at as the favorite. And Chandler Smith is not far enough behind Lane to be considered an afterthought there. Next up, Team Realm. We got Frankie Nunez, Malcolm in the middle's full-time in the 33, and Luke Baldwin's going to be sharing the number 2 truck. For all intents and purposes, this is a backmarker team. They've shown that they can get some pretty reasonable performances every once in a while, but bringing the trucks home in one piece will be that team's goal. And anything beyond that would be just a bonus. Next up here is Thor Sport with Cole Butcher in the 13 truck. He is going to be part of this rookie class that we have, a very competitive rookie class if things go the way I believe they will. Cole Butcher, he's definitely going to be the number 4 driver at Thor Sport for at least the first little bit. I honestly don't know too much about him. I know that he had a reasonably successful short track career. But yeah, he's going to be learning the ropes from Ty Majeski and Ben Rhodes. And I can't think of anyone else you'd want some young driver to be learning from when it comes to trucks. Those are 2 of our recent champions. Next up, we got Ty Majeski, just swapping numbers. He's now in Matt Crafton's number 88. Ty Majeski's goal is going to be take that championship throne back. Probably the best short track racer in the series, and more Lane Riggs, I would say. Um, his ceiling is whatever Thor Sports is. Thor Sport needs to bounce back. And I would say the same thing for Ben Rhodes. He had a bit of a down year last year, and we can kind of blame that on Thor Sport itself. Thor Sports probably had their worst year since they were a single truck operation. Um, they have 2 championship caliber drivers there, and the expectation are going to be on them to be back in the championship hunt again this year. And the 4th driver they got here is Jake Garcia. Jake Garcia had some pretty impressive showings in his limited appearances over the last couple of years. Last year, as a rookie, he did reasonably well for, like we said earlier, like with a struggling Thor Sport team. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if he popped up a win or two. He'll be in that fight for the chase, I believe. Cole Butcher, if Thor Sport can nail it, he'll be in that fight too, but I would probably caution against predicting him as one of those 10 drivers to make the chase for the trucks. Next up is Ram. Dodge is back, or Ram, however you want to call it, and it's going to be Colleague, and that makes this is where Colleague's Cup Series efforts are going to get thrown into a bit of disarray because they're going to be the factory Ram team in the trucks, and then they're going to be out in the wilderness with Chevrolet in the Cup Series. But if things get pieced together as they should be, College should come out swinging in Daytona. So we're going to have 5 trucks that seem more or less to be full time. It's one heck of an undertaking. But they got to make up the numbers somehow. And they got some championship contenders, in my opinion, here. Daniel Dye, he's coming back down from the Xfinity Series. I think he performed about to expectations in the Xfinity Series. He had a couple not too bad runs, but he was very clearly not at that level at that point in time. I think going back down to the Truck Series would be a benefit to him. Next up, 12, Brendan Butterbean Green. That's our Rookie of the Year heir apparent, in my opinion. The ARCA champion last year. One of the more experienced rookies we've seen come through in quite some time. Brendan Queen, the expectation will be for him to win races if Ram brings a package that is remotely competitive. Not only that, there's a chance he's an outside title contender. I would expect Brendan Queen to be the one rookie who ends up making the chase this year. He has a chance to go on a run for that title in his rookie year. The 14, that's supposed to be the winner of the Gong Show, though that is rumored to be Mini Tyrell. So I'm going to go off assuming that Mini Tyrell is the person who is going to win the Gong Show and get that 14 truck. Immaculate short track racer, very much in the mold of Brendan Queen. I do think he's going to experience some growing pains because he does not have that big track experience that Butterbean got in the ARCA Series last year. I do expect him to have some good runs, and I do expect him to compete for some victories. I definitely think he is the number 2 rookie in this class, though. Brendan Queen, I do believe, is head and shoulders above him just with the experience that he has. I do believe by the time we get through the summer months, we have Mini Tyrell more or less on par with him. He has an outside shot at making the chase, especially if Ram can put together something special. But he would definitely be a dark horse. The 16, Justin Haley, coming back down from the Cup Series. Justin Haley was a great Truck Series driver on his way up, and I expect him to be another title contender now that he's back. And honestly, if I were to pick a driver right now for to win Daytona, it would be Justin Haley. an immaculate restrictor plate racer with what almost equates to a super team, I would say. Justin Haley is definitely going to be a title contender, and very much the driver I would pick to win Daytona if you had to ask me today. And the 25 is going to be fun dudes. Tony Stewart's driving in Daytona. Rumors of pretty much everybody who has ever driven a race car has been rumored for that seat. So I would not be surprised to see Mario Andretti in that seat by the end of the year, the way they've been talking about it. That'll be the funnest part of the truck series here, I think, is seeing who gets the 25 for calling. Finally, we go over to Toyota with Helmar Friesen. The 52 is going to be the returning Stuart Friesen. He's coming back from one heck of an injury. I wouldn't be terribly surprised if he's missing a step. He is in his 40s. He's 42 years old as of today. And he's had a long recovery process. I think we're going to see parts of the year where he turns back the clock and he looks like the Stuart Friesen of old. But I feel like he's going to need a little more time to get back to that race-winning title contending pace that he's known for. And the 62, there hasn't been much info on that yet. I expect that to be a truck that's split between multiple guys. Maybe you get some Toyota Cup guys making some spot starts here and there, like Christopher Bell did last year. Maybe guys like Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Riley Herbst. They make some starts there. Corey Heim, maybe, although he has Tricon, so who knows. And then Tricon have 3 full-time guys this year. It's Caden Honeycutt, Tanner Gray, and Gio Ruggiero. I do believe Caden Honeycutt is the name to look for here. I know Gio is the one with the race victory, but Caden was the far more impressive driver, in my opinion, last year, splitting it between Nice and Hallmark Friesen. Tricon can very possibly put in 3 guys in the chase. All 3 of these guys are talented enough to get the job done. Tanner Gray, he wants to join his brother Taylor as a NASCAR race winner again. And Gio wants to definitely build up on his momentum from the end of last year too. So we got all these guys here. I got to pick 10 to make the chase. Let's do this way. I think our regular season champion is going to be Elaine Riggs. I think Ty Majeski's going to make it. I think Grant Enfinger's going to make it. I think Tyler Ancrum's going to make it. I think Daniel Hemrick will make it. Christian Eckes. Justin Haley. Caden Honeycutt. Ben Rhodes. Oh my goodness, this got hard. You would definitely want to say that Chandler Smith would make it. Do you only think McAnally would put 3 guys in the chase? I really want to say Butterbean would make it, but I just don't know who here he knocks out. I would definitely have Butterbean as number 11. I would have Gio as 12. I would have Martinez 13, Dye at 14, Garcia 15, Tanner Gray 16. Oh, that feels terrible. Perez de Lara 17. Butcher 18. Chris Wright 19. Stuart Friesen 20th. Dawson Sutton 21st. And Frankie 22nd. This is definitely going to be a battle for the playoffs for the truck guys. There's so many good guys there.